With the rise of Warzone, guys, and during this quarantine period, we're going to continue to see some very weird things. Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome back, as per usual, to more esports talk. Today, we talk about Nadeshot, Nickmercs, 100 Thieves in general, and some weird announcements, which, honestly, you asked me months ago, and you really just don't see this kind of stuff coming, as we actually see a lot more personalities like that of Nadeshot. I guess you could throw Carlos in there as well. Some CEOs of esports organizations really pounding the content out during this pandemic and quarantine period. I look towards NRG, Andy Miller, and Hector Rodriguez producing more content than ever. Carlos, very interactive. Again, guys like Nadeshot as well, taking to streaming, and I would say more so than he has in the recent years, and breaking, I believe, recently 20,000 subscribers on the Twitch platform as well. We are seeing these CEOs adapt and really stay busy in a lot of different ways. And speak of the devil, we actually have Nadeshot taking to Twitter now several days back and going back to a competitive play, this time for Warzone. And it simply makes a lot of sense, right? We have seen the rise of Warzone, especially in comparison to Fortnite. A lot of the OG Fortnite creators have now switched completely from Fortnite to Warzone. I think every single week we are seeing whether an MFAM Gauntlet or Toronto Ultra or other series out there and events being held for Warzone. It makes a lot of sense. Even the Call of Duty pros who don't have weekend events ongoing usually dip into Warzone events and do very well. They've been super entertaining, and it simply makes sense why Nadeshot is looking to get competitive again, this time for Warzone events. As he said, I'm looking to put together a consistent group of teammates for future Warzone tournaments. Feel like I caught the competitive itch again, and I want to start placing well in these competitions. Tweet or DM me if you're interested. And like I said before, it simply does make sense. With more and more events ongoing, yes, they are online because there are unfortunately no LAN events ongoing currently. Speak of the devil, when it comes time for Call of Duty, we did see a LAN event at least try to be held, and that faced a lot of backlash. I might have one last update for you guys sometime later this week about that very weird instance, but this just makes a lot of sense for a guy like Nadeshot. Call of Duty background, trying to continue to stream during these quarantine periods of time, and kind of wanting to be competitive in what is a very much rising esport out there, especially with the new Call of Duty title slowly approaching, which will be separate from this Warzone, which will continue to be a top battle royale. It makes a lot of sense for a competitive natured guy who can actually stream these competitions and keep up with other streamers who are also competing. You know, we talked about this just this last week. Yes, it was obviously bait because I've called him the face and the kind of the leader when it comes for the Warzone movement, that being Nickmercs popping off. Last time I checked, breaking 60,000 subscribers. He's stuck around there ever since breaking that, I believe, a couple weeks ago. He is the lead face of these Warzone events, even has direct ties to Activision with his MFAM Gauntlet, putting on his own tournaments and participating in others. I think most recently taking the victory in the trios for the Toronto Ultra 100K event was a guy like Nickmercs. He took the video last week to say why he might be quitting Warzone. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we can all probably agree. A bit of a baity title, which I am guilty of myself. I bring it up right now because it's very interesting to see a guy like Nadeshot getting back into competitive Warzone, and will we see him face off more against a guy like Nickmercs? Yes, I will fuel that fire. I think one of the hottest rivalries right now that, you know, kind of gets talked about very lightly is Nickmercs versus Nadeshot. So as Nadeshot looks to get in, Nickmercs is already a firm foot in the door when it comes time for competing in Call of Duty and Warzone events. I cannot wait to see these two maybe butt heads in future events as Nadeshot looks to remain competitive. Now, very lastly in this wrap up, if you guys do not know, I try and wrap up a few stories to make the video a bit more interesting. Speaking of competitive and maybe a lack thereof, we talked about just yesterday 100 Thieves member, team captain for their Valorant roster, that being Hiko, his mother getting involved, and unfortunately after some weekend results, she did not see very fitting of that Valorant roster, which she is not the only one who has spoken out about this. We have Sinatra, we have Fion from ESPN Esports, we have Hiko's mother, we have many other figures out there stating that 100 Thieves needs to make some changes. Here's a former Overwatch champion and MVP as well, Sinatra, saying, how can 100 Thieves win? Well, they need to make a roster change.
What do the 100 Thieves have to do to win? Change a roster? Okay, I didn't read it.
And in case you guys missed yesterday's video somehow, it was Hiko's mother taking to Twitter to say, Hiko's doing great, but he can only be as good as his teammates do allow him to be. And again, in that video, I said my mom would do the same exact thing. Trust me. Carol might be watching right now if she can somehow work the YouTube. Literally, if I was somehow competitive in any sport growing up or any esport, which I have no shot at, by the way, she would do the same exact thing as a passionate parent should. But it does not make it any easier for the life of 100 Thieves, as many of people out there are pressuring them to make some changes in a roster that was controversial in its forming in the first place. If you guys follow this channel, you know exactly what I mean. So what do you think about that? Will 100 Thieves make changes? Will Nadeshot's making changes, looking to go back to competitive Warzone, as Nickmercs is certainly not quitting? Will we see those two butt heads in the future? I don't know. I cannot wait. What do you guys think about this? And until next time, you already know what to do, all right? Drink that wah. Drink that ka. I'll catch you guys back here sometime very soon. Take care.